Today, we're going to take a look at 15 alternate art cards from the Sword and Shield era that are valued under $20 as of right now. We're going to take a look at their price trends over the last year, seeing their highs and lows, where they were 1 year ago, and where they are now. We're also going to make some predictions of where they might go in the future. Let's take a look at the list right now.
So, starting off the list, we have the Conkeldurr V alternate full art card from Pokemon Go. 1 year ago, this card had a value of $4.20, which also happens to be its yearly high. It had a low on January 1st of $2.23, and its current value is sitting at $3.10. Now, Pokemon Go is an interesting set. I don't necessarily see it having a big resurgence in value or being nearly as valuable as the other sets for the Sword and Shield era. You never know though, so I'm not going to necessarily make a call on that. But for the Conkeldurr V, I do see a world where it does go up to $10. This could be way in the future. It could be in the moderate future. I think that's its cap for now though. I'm not going to make a call beyond that, but I do see around $10. Coming up next, we have the Sandaconda V alternate full art card from Fusion Strike. 1 year ago, this card had a value of $6.07. Its low is around here on February 5th at $2.46, and then its high is here on April 29th at $8.10, and its current value is $7.42. Now, this card comes from Fusion Strike, which is definitely a very well liked and desired set from the Sword and Shield era, so I do see this card having potential with how high it could go. Now, this is a bit of a bolder claim. I can see its cap being at around the $20 mark, but this is in the way future. This is I don't think that's for anywhere near in the timeline, but I think given, we'll say for the next few months to the year, right, it goes up to $10, $15 for the moderate future, and then the far future, I'm gonna say 20, and that's solely because of it comes from Fusion Strike, but this is years down the line. Then coming up next, we have the Greedent V alternate full art card from Fusion Strike. 1 year ago, this card had a value of $10.91. Its high is here on June 19th at $11.27. Its low is here on October 9th at $5.27. And then its current value is sitting at around $8.31. So similar to the Sandaconda, I do see this card having a bit of a decent potential with its value, solely due that it comes from Fusion Strike. Now, I think $10 is very reasonable for its near future. I'm going to say for the moderate future, it could hit 15, and for the far future, we're talking years, could hit the $20 mark. Then coming up next, we have the Skuntank V alternate full art card from Silver Tempest. 1 year ago, this card had a value of $9.18. Its high was shortly after that on June 12th at $13.26. Its low is over here on December 25th at $4.84, and its current value is at $9.18. Now, Skuntank comes from Silver Tempest, which I would put at the mid to high tier, I'll call it, of Sword and Shield sets. Is it top 3? Probably not. Is it top 5? You could make an argument for that. But essentially, Skuntank, I'm going to say it might have a similar track to what I was saying with Fusion Strike. The previous two cards, just purely based off of this card's value as of right now, $9.18. $10 will happen probably relatively quickly, $15 within the moderate future, and we'll say 17 to 20 within the years to come. Coming up next, we have the Honchkrow V alternate full art card from Brilliant Stars. 1 year ago, this card had a value of $12.32, and May 29th was actually its high for its value as well. It had a low over here on September 25th at $5.21, and its current value sitting at $10.04. So this card comes from Brilliant Stars. Again, similar to Silver Tempest, you could make a case that this set would be top 5. Personally, I might put Brilliant Stars over Silver Tempest, but I think that's just like a subjective debate that you could have with anybody. So I'm not going to necessarily make a call on that, but As for its value, we'll say probably $13 within the near future, and then we'll go 15 moderate, and I know I'm gonna sound like a broken record. We'll say $20 will probably be its far price out, but for now I could definitely see it hitting $15 within the next few months to the year. Okay, so this one is an interesting one. We have the Duraludon V alternate full art card from Evolving Skies. 1 year ago, this card had a value of $17.78. Shortly after that, it had a high on June 19th of $17.79, and then it had a low of here on November 13th of $10.06. Its current value is $13.51. Now, why I say this is an interesting card is particularly because it comes from the set Evolving Skies. Now, Evolving Skies is subjectively, and many would regard it objectively, as the best set from the Sword and Shield era. Sealed value has gone up crazy. Alternate art cards from this set have gone up crazy too. So this card, I think, is only a matter of time before it gets bell curved along with everything else. So $13.51. You can see it going to $15 relatively soon, and then I think within the next few months to the year, it'll hit $20. And then honestly, where this card will end up, I'm not sure. I mean, it might be a pretty outrageous call. Probably $30 within the next few years, to be honest. Like, just seeing as to where Evolving Skies is going, I could see it hitting that mark. Coming up next, we have the Medicham V alternate full art card from, again, Evolving Skies. Now, 1 year ago, this card had a value of $13.55. It had a high on November 20th of $14.93, and it looks like its low was here on April 8th at $10.44, and its current value goes for $13.55. Now, again, similar to that Duraludon, I'm going to probably say that this card coming from Evolving Skies will have a crazy bell curve within the next few years, well, year to the years, probably reaching a cap of maybe around 30, could go up to maybe, we'll say sooner than later we'll hit probably 20. We'll say maybe next year, few months, I could see it hitting 20 for sure. Now 30 is for far in the future. I think Medicham V has the upper hand over the Duraludon, strictly because it's a Medicham. Like, it's a pretty cool card. People, I think, appreciate Medicham a little more than they appreciate Duraludon, just with that history that's there with that Pokemon. So I can see it having a little bit of a better time. However, with that Duraludon, it does have Ryan. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce his name, but it does have him in it, which could boost that card's value because people do love trainers. So anyways, this card, we'll say $20 short term / moderate, and then way in the future, I could see it being 30. All right, coming up next, we have the Rapid Strike Urshifu V alternate full art card from Battle Styles. So 1 year ago, this card had a value of $13.85, which is also its yearly high. It had its low on March 11th at $10.13. Its current value is $13.85. So, Rapid Strike Urshifu V. This card comes from Battle Styles, which right now, Battle Styles, and I guess it kind of is a little bit of a case study in itself, but Battle Styles is one of the worst performing sets from Sword and Shield. Or not worst performing, but just not valued as high, I guess. People are not that big of a fan of Battle Styles, but Battle Styles has alternate art cards. So will we see a resurgence in Battle Styles? Will we see it kind of reach the prices that its predecessors have reached for their sealed, for their artworks within the cards? Who really knows? I mean, I'm sure eventually, but could this be more just like a Steam Siege where it has a slower and less appreciation? Maybe. Anyways, that's besides the point. Rapid Strike Urshifu V. I could see, for now, Battle Styles is a really tough call. I do think it will go up eventually, but I could see this card having a cap of $20 for the next little bit. Probably $15 it'll reach within the next year, but I could see its cap being around the $20 mark. Next, we have the Hisuian Lilligant V alternate full art card from Astral Radiance. 1 year ago, this card had a value of $14.78. Its low is over here on April 1st at $9.47. And then its high is May 6th, $15.37. And that happens to be its current price as well. So it's currently in its most valuable price range. So Hisuian Lilligant V comes from Astral Radiance. Astral Radiance, you can make an argument for being top 5. Maybe I'll increase it to top 6 at this point, but okay, so we'll say top 6 sets for the Sword and Shield era. Astral Radiance will definitely, I'm not gonna use the word definitely, but I can see Astral Radiance having a pretty significant increase in its value going forward. This card is currently $15.37. I see $20 being realistic for the near to moderate future, and then I could see its cap being probably $30 within the far future. Coming up next, we have the Luminion V alternate full art card from Brilliant Stars. 1 year ago, this card had a value of $17.56, which also happens to be its yearly high. Its low is over here on September 25th at $9.94, and its current value is $16.07. So this card definitely has some really nice and visually appealing artwork. Comes from Brilliant Stars. You can make a case for it. That's all I'm going to say. Top 6. Anyways, comes from Brilliant Stars. We'll make a generalized prediction on it. It's $20. I can see it reaching a price range of for the near to moderate future. And again, I can just kind of see it capping out at 30. I know I keep saying that a lot. I think it just really depends on where alternate art cards go. Like, will the Luminion V ever reach a value of $100? Probably not. Will ever reach a value of $50? It could, but I'm thinking probably $30 is like the most realistic that it could reach. Coming up next, we have the Ice Rider Calyrex V alternate full art card from Chilling Reign. 1 year ago, this card had a value of $19.20. Then on June 19th, it had a high of $20.08. Then on October 23rd, it had a low of $11.96, and its current value is sitting here on May 13th at $16.32. Now, this card comes from Chilling Reign. You can make a case that it's one of the top sets for the Sword and Shield era. We definitely have seen its sealed product trending north, and I don't think there's signs of it slowing down. So, where will this card end up going? Now, I remember back in its peak, it didn't really go past like the $20 to $25 mark, and that was Canadian. So I think it's kind of sitting at around where it once was. Now, again, similar to the last few, I think $30 is a realistic cap for the far future. As for the near future, I could see $20 for sure. I mean, it's a few dollars away from that. $25 is questionable for when, but probably within the next couple of years, and then I think $30 will likely be this card's cap. Then our fourth last card on this list, we have the Single Strike Urshifu V alternate full art card from Battle Styles. 1 year ago, this card had a value of $15.72. Its high was on June 12th at $16.36. Its low is over here on December 11th at $10.85. Its current value is $16.17. So this card has, I would say subjectively, I guess, but slightly nicer artwork than the Rapid Strike Urshifu V. But anyways, I guess that's a subjective opinion and should kind of just be disregarded. But so this card, again, it comes from Battle Styles. Battle Styles, questionable as to where it will go. I feel like Battle Styles is likely to have its own come up eventually. Will it be as popular as, Chilling Reign, Fusion Strike, Evolving Skies? Likely not, but will have its time in the, sunlight, maybe. It definitely could. Where I see this card going, cap of 30 within the next few years. I should just put that at the beginning, shouldn't I? Hey, everything will probably have a cap of 30, but I don't know. Like I said, I really don't see many of these going past the $30 mark long term, unless there's like a crazy resurgence, which there could be. But anyways, $16.17. $20 is probably realistic for the near future, and then $25 for the moderate, and then the far future, $30. Our third last card, we have the Galarian Berserker V alternate full art card from Lost Origin. So this is actually our first card from Lost Origin. 1 year ago, it had a value of $31.79, which also happened to be its yearly high. It looks like its low was probably around here on March 4th at $14.62, and right now it has a value of $19.10. So this is the first card from Lost Origin. Lost Origin, you can make a case that it actually is one of the top sets of the Sword and Shield era. Galarian Berserker as a Pokemon is quite interesting because it's a region variant of I'm blanking, Meowth's Evolution Persian. So, you could make a case that, it's a bit of a beloved Pokemon, but you could also make a case that, it's one of a newer one, there isn't really that crazy sentimental value for it. But where do I see this card going? Really depends on Lost Origin as a set. It's already going up pretty crazily. $25 I think is realistic for the near future. We'll say the next couple of months to the year. I think it can rebound back up to that. We'll see how well the whole set gets bell curved by Lost Origin's performance, because many consider Lost Origin to be like the second best, I should say, set of the Sword and Shield era. So there's definitely potential for that. I think this card has potential to go beyond the $30 mark in the future, like in the way future, but I would say $30 is a safe bet. It could have potential to go up to $35 depending on how Lost Origin itself performs, but for now we'll say $25 near and $30 for far. The second last card for this list is the Genesect V alternate full art card from Fusion Strike. 1 year ago, this card had a value of $18.61. Shortly thereafter, on July 10th, it had a high of $18.92. Looks like its low was over here on March 18th at $11.30. Its current value is $18.72. Now, I will say this artwork I think is a little bit nicer, and just the colors, everything pops a little more. It's a little better than the previous ones we've seen for Fusion Strike, and that's why I think this card is a higher value overall, and I think it will surely help it in the future. Its current value is $18.72. $20 should be no problem to reach to. You can see it having a decent cap, probably at around the $40 mark within the far future. Near future, for sure 20, could reach 25, and then the moderate future will go 30, and then like I said, the far, I could see it reaching $40. And the final card for this list is the Regidrago V alternate full art card from Silver Tempest. 1 year ago, this card had a value of $21.50, had a high on June 12th of $22.75. It looks like its low is over here on March 25th at $11.04, and its current value is sitting at $18.70. So comes from Silver Tempest, we've already discussed, could be a potential top 6, definitely one of the better sets from the Sword and Shield era, and it also obviously features alternate art cards. But Regidrago V, this card just made the cutoff for not being under 20, and similar to the Genesect, there was once a time where it was over 20, but has not reached there since. But honestly, I'm going to say similar to the Genesect. I see it having $20 will probably hit there pretty soon, 25 moderate, 30 to the far. Now, do I see it having a cap of $40? I don't know. I feel like the Genesect will surpass this card on the list and technically be the highest valued card on this list in the future. That's my prediction, but with the Regidrago V, I could see it going to 35 as a high. Will it hit 40 though? It's a little bit tough of a call, but I'm going to play it safe and say it will probably reach the $35 mark within the far future and $25 within the moderate to near.
So that wraps up the list for 15 alternate art cards from the Sword and Shield era that are valued under $20. Now, as you can see, with a lot of them, I made similar calls to what they might reach. Maybe having a cap at $30, maybe having a cap at $40, maybe some of them even reaching $50. I don't want to use the word cap, I have been using it, but I just don't see a lot of them reaching over certain potentials, so that's why I said they might have a cap. Now, it really does depend on the set they come from, it depends on the artwork, and it really does depend on, what Pokemon is featured on it, because a lot of these cards don't really have very popular Pokemon or very beloved, right? So that's definitely things to look out for, and that's why they're currently priced at around the price that they are, right? Because if you look at the Regidrago V, it probably has the same pull rates as the Lugia V, but it's well over $100 less, right? Well, could be at this point even $200 less. So that's just something to look out for. Just which Pokemon have a resurgence of popularity can definitely make a very big difference. But I don't want to ramble on too much longer. What do you think of this list? Let me know down below. I think alternate art cards, they will go up in the future. I think that is a safe call to make, that alternate art cards will increase, and it could be a very good idea right now for an investment purpose to look at which cards are undervalued right now, or lower in value at the very least, because a lot of them are likely to go up. So, like I said, could make good investment pieces. Let me know what you think of this list. Let me know what you think, if these cards will go up, if they're going to stay the same, go down. I'd love to know. Let me know down below.